Hi, it's Wendy from Shiny Happy World. It is a new month, a new year, and a new decade. It's January 2020, and I've got all kinds of fun stuff planned for this month. So here's what's going on. First, I'm going to back up for just a couple of weeks and show you the newest Funny Faces Quilt Block of the Month pattern. It is Serena Seal. So there's, I can never do this. New Year's resolution is to learn how to point things at the camera. So that's Serena Seal. There she is in natural colors. And you can also see her up on my board. Where's the seal? There she is. Up with the pink blocks. You'll see that my design wall is almost empty. That's because I am doing a fresh start for the new year. I think I'm still going to make more of these pink on pink on pink blocks because I'm really liking them. So I want to get at least 12 to make into a nice small pink quilt for a baby. It's going to be even smaller than my usual quilt, than my usual crib size, but I think it'll be perfect for a new baby. So I'm going to finish that up. And I also am working on, no, there we are, a book that is going to have a whole bunch of Polaroid blocks in it. And I think that's going to be really fun too. So those are the only two things that are pinned up on my board right now. But we're continuing with the Funny Faces Quilt Block of the Month Club. And we'll have a new pattern for that on January 15th. But if you're in the club or if you join the club now, you'll be able to download the Serena Seal pattern until then. So that is kind of the old news, the Block of the Month Club. The newest thing that I'm doing this month, I've never done one of these. I've done other people's, I've done the 100 Days Challenge a couple of times, and I've never quite made it to the 100 days. That's where you draw a particular thing. You make something, anything, every day for 100 days. And I've never quite made it for the full 100 days. So I wanted to do a design challenge that was just a month. And I'm going to do a daily dot. And I'm going to show you the book that's my inspiration. So I love this book. The Dot by Peter Reynolds. It is a great book about creativity. So we've got this girl, Vashti. Oh, there she is. That's Vashti. And Vashti is pretty convinced that she can't draw. And she's got a great art teacher. And her art teacher's like, just make a mark. See where it takes you. And Vashti she's very grumpy, and she just stabs a magic marker dot on the paper and shoves it over at her teacher. And the teacher looks at it very carefully. She hands it back to her and she says, now sign it. And Vashti signs it. And the next time she comes into art class, she is stunned because the teacher has framed her dot in this gorgeous swirly gold frame. She looks at it and she looks at it, and then she says, I can make a better dot than that. And that is the beginning of her journey, and she makes all kinds of dots, and she just goes on this whole big dot. There are scenes at the end with her in like a gallery showing with all of her dot artwork all around her, and it's just amazing. And I think it's a really inspiring book, and every time I read it, I kind of tear up a little bit. And I've always wanted to do a challenge where I make a dot every day. So I'm finally going to do that. I've been thinking about doing this for years. So I'm finally going to do it. Starting January 1st and running every day for the month of January, I'm going to make a dot. And I would love you to join me too. And you can do any medium, any kind of dots that you want. I was going to do felt dots that I embroidered, but then I decided that that wasn't much of a challenge because I already have a pretty consistent daily hand stitching practice. And I wanted to take this as an opportunity to really try something new. So I'm going to use my Procreate, my iPad tablet, and the Procreate app, which I've used before. I used it to do all of the drawings for my How to Embroider Almost Everything book, but that was just line drawings, and that is just not even scratching the surface of what you can do with the Procreate app. So I want to learn all of the things that you can do that look like paint and look like chalks and look like colored pencils, and there's a way to add texture and that you can do animated graphics. So I'm taking some classes throughout the month where I'm going to learn how to use the Procreate app properly, like really learn some of the things that you can do with it. And that is going to be the basis for my challenge. So as I'm watching all of these classes, the daily dots that I make are going to be ways for me to practice and apply what I'm learning without the pressure of trying to draw something difficult. I still feel really challenged about drawing. I never feel like I can draw, even though I have drawn a million things and I just did a book that was full of all of these drawings. I still feel like I'm not an artist. And I'm intimidated by drawing. But dot, like, I can do a dot. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking this very non-threatening shape. Anybody can do a circle, and I'm going to make a dot every day, and I'm going to try and learn something new with that. So if you want to join me, do whatever medium you want to play around in. You can use paint, you can use pencils, you can use chalks. Forget about 2D. You can you can sculpt, you can do photography, you could do jewelry, anything that you could make a dot shape. Maybe you want to make a bead every day if you're a glass blower, or whatever you want to experiment with. Just make a dot every day in January and tag it #dailydot2020, and I'll see those on Instagram, and I'm really, really eager to see what people make. So that is a challenge that I'm doing for the month, every day for the month. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm Wendy Gratz there, and it's WENDI, not a Y. And you can follow me there, and I'll be posting my dot every day. So even if you don't do the dot challenge, read this book. It really is a tremendous, tremendous book about creativity. So the other thing that I'm doing, that I've been working on, I like to just have kind of a word, not necessarily, I don't really do the focus word for the year in any kind of a formal way, but I love words and I love language and I love the inspiration of words. So I started this project just to start the new year. It says begin, and it's just got all of these felt squares. And right now I am still in the process of whip stitching around the edges. I've done all of the colors except for all of the green squares. So that's what I'll be working on tonight. And as soon as I get all of the squares whip stitched down, I'm going to start doing some fancier stitching in all of those blocks. It's just going to be tone on tone. Really, I just want to add a little bit of texture to each one of those blocks. And I'm also going to add a little bit of texture to the letters, but this is my kind of my feeling for the beginning of the year. Just start. Whatever you want to do, just start. It's always kind of hard to take that first step, but if there's something that you've been wanting to do, wanting to learn how to do, wanting to establish a better practice for, just start. And you never see, just make a mark and see where it takes you. Oh, we've gone full circle back around to the dot. So make your mark, see where it takes you. Start something. Just take one step and start something and see where it takes you. That is my message for the beginning of the new year, the new decade, and I hope you will join me. We've got lots of fun things planned at Shiny Happy World for this year, and I can't wait to see what you make. I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and I'll see you next month. Bye.